The evening primrose grows naturally in eastern Canada and northeastern United States. For many years, native people have looked upon the primrose as a plant with medicinal properties, and so have used it to promote health. Today, native farmers are being encouraged to grow evening primrose crops as part of the Indian Agricultural Program of Ontario. Here at Alderville, the Band Council has been working on this project as part of its program to make better use of our land. More information about this interesting plant and the health products made from it can be found in a brochure entitled Evening Primrose. If you like corn chips, you may want to know more about arrowheads, which are made from white flint corn. This type of corn has been grown by First Nations people for centuries and has been an important part of their diet. Up-to-the-minute scientific experiments are now being done in the growth and processing of native corn into a modern food product, corn chips. This is all being done with great respect for native traditions related to our corn. Jeff Beaver tells us about it.
What you're looking at here is our nursery block of Indian white flint corn. This is basically a collection of Indian corn from this part of North America, consisting of about 40 different varieties of the old Indian white flint corns. This corn has been passed on down through the generations for probably the last 2,000 or 3,000 years, and it's still grown today on many reserves across southern Ontario and in the States. What this nursery is all about is firstly continuing these lines of corn. They're all different, different plants, different kernels, different yields, and we're trying to preserve that germplasm for some use in the future, possibly to curb world hunger someday. We've got collections here from Six Nations, Tyendinaga, the Oneidas, Akwesasne, New York State, some others from other countries such as Argentina, Chile, Peru, France, and I believe there's one from Japan, all white corns. The main thrust of the project is twofold. It's to preserve the genetics that are here and that have been passed on down through the centuries, and second, it's to develop a hybrid that we can use for our arrowhead corn chips. Our hybrid needs to have some standability. We'd like to improve the yield, and at the same time maintain the Indian qualities of the corn. What we're going to do is we're going to make a sibling out of this type of corn. You can see in the bag here, there's a considerable amount of pollen in there from the male part of the corn plant called the tassel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tassel bag off with the pollen inside, and I'm going to transfer it onto the silk, or the female part, of that corn cob right there, which will make these two plants brother and sisters. That's why we call them sibs, or siblings. So I'll just continue on to do that now. Take this bag off here. Just give it a little bit of a shake. Clean out any more pollen that might happen to be in there. And that's it. Got your nice, dry, fresh pollen in the corner of the bag here, ready to use on that silk over there. Now, what we usually do is we just tear the corner of this bag off, like so. So we just have the the pollen contained in one corner of the bag. And when we walk over to this plant, we take the ear bag off. This covers the silk of the female part of this corn from being contaminated from all the other pollen that happens to be blowing around in the air. This bag protects that female part of the plant until you're ready to use it. So I'll just take the bag off, and we'll sprinkle some pollen onto the silk of this plant here, and that's all it will need to form kernels, and it'll be a variety that will remain the same. It won't be a mixture of all of the other corns in this field here. So that is basically pollinated there now, and we'll slide this bag back on top like so, and it's protected there now, and it's going to be a cross between this plant over here and this plant here, so we know they're all of the same line. Now at this point we label our paper bags and put them on cover this ear right up with a paper bag to add some further protection, and also provide some information as to when the pollination took place and what sort of date it was, and here in Alderville, and to indicate it was done here in Alderville. So I'll just fill in the bag and then we'll staple it on there. Okay, this corn is from Peru, and its supposedly background is with the Incas. So it's quite an interesting one, and it's the first year we've tried this one. So I'll just write it up here. It's called Cuzco 232 in Alderville. We just slide that over the ear, and the ear will develop perfectly inside that bag until harvest time, and we can come along and we just tear the bag and the ear and everything off and take it back to the lab for evaluation and shelling, and if it's a good ear, we like the seed, we'll save it for next year's planting. This is the arrowhead corn chips that we're working with this corn to try and develop. The commercial acreages across the province that were taken off by Indian farmers, this is what it's going into, is these arrowhead corn chips. They're basically a health food product. They're made with just pure Indian corn, corn oil, and sea salt for flavoring. So we're trying to gear this towards the health food industry as a healthy snack. It's a new product. We're just starting to get it into the marketplace right now. So you might happen to see it around some of the reserves at either the Six Nations or Alderville or down at Tynanega. And we're trying to build from there.